Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your next session of Group Therapy. I am King Bear in the building.
The sexy, heavy duty Cutie.
Heavy duty cutie.
So what's up, my love? All right, well, we got a great show for you guys this week. And I think we're about business this week. So
Business.
All right.
Let's go.
All right, so y'all ready to get it?
Yeah, we gotta do it.
All right, so without further ado, let's get to it.
Be gentle.
One thing we're talking about with leaders is if you go to group therapy, and this is something that I emphasize, no two group leaders are necessarily going to lead group in the same way.
All right, so okay, you, I'm getting out the driver's seat. I'm giving it back to you. So what are we talking about this week? What are we?
Okay. Well, forgive me, I have a headache, so I'm not gonna be all lively or whatever. But
It's okay.
today's topic, I want to ask: why do children become property when you separate? Why? Like, do
You got two fathers here.
right? And y'all been through
Our point of view.
2 different marriages. So
Just one. 7 on the side.
yeah.
I lost count. International,
He just had
Japan.
relations.
Because
Japan,
I'm emotional, like I said. I'm a romantic.
Oregon.
And
I just don't deal with people very long, but I'm a romantic.
Yeah, he's romantic with the. You know, I love you.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry.
So what you think? So because when people in relationships, you together, y'all having a good time, y'all raising the kids in the same house. No issues. He's a good father, she's a good wife, or however it come. But as soon as you separate, he can't take care of the kid, or he ain't a good father. Or she can't do this, and I don't want him over here. He he can't make good decisions. He was making them when y'all were together, but now that y'all not, then everybody is like this bad parent.
Yeah.
Why is that? Like, why do they do? And then you wasn't even thinking about that when you was in the house with your kids because there was no issues. But now you got to fight to see your kids on the weekend because they don't want you to do that. I just don't understand that part.
If I may. From my experience, I think, and you hit it right on the button. When we're together, you agree with the decisions that we both make and vice versa. I think in many cases, and I can speak on my own, my last relationship, a lot of outside influence from inner family get in the ear. And now the description of me or that person has changed based on their point of view, not based on an opinion of you, right? So I think once you do that, then when you ask for advice from those same people, they're just gonna think negative about that parent, in my opinion. Fair?
Okay. I see where you're going with that. How outside influences can
Be chipping
add
on the
to
ear.
it. For me, it seems like it's more of for some reason, the person just might not be over the other person in a relationship. And not necessarily and that's what makes it weird, because it's not necessarily in a way that it's like, I want them back. It's more so like, I don't like you, or I don't want you to do good because I don't like you so much. So I need to control things that
The narrative
that you're about. And they start using this kid as a tool to show you I'm running things. And then if you're the type of person that's like, okay, you can run things, and they don't get that satisfaction, then it starts leaning into, oh yeah, well, now I need to manipulate your life with this kid because I don't have any other attachment to you. Correct. I can't come to your kitchen and be like, don't eat that, right, or don't sleep in that bed, or I don't like that person, get that person out of here. But I can if there's a kid around. Oh, you want to see your daughter? You want to see your son? Not when you dealing with that B over there, because if you're dealing with her, I don't want my kid around that person. And they start doing things like that. And I'm with you. I'm like, what? If you run around here and you're bad mouthing the person that you were in a relationship with, you don't want to be with that person anymore. Why is it so much energy towards using that kid to try to make that person's life miserable? And maybe they look like the kid looks like the person.
Could.
Yeah.
And that drives them crazy. They can't deal with it.
Yeah.
Still,
I've seen that a lot too. You're right.
But it's just I'm gonna say like a situation with me. When I was married, me and my husband, I mean, he was a really good husband. He even helped take care of my son, which is not his. And, he just did, he was a good guy. He did, she's a daddy's girl. But as soon as I decided to separate and leave, then it's like, oh, well, your daughter, it became my kids. Then he wasn't coming around. He barely wanted to see them a lot of time and stuff like that. But he would convince her when she did go, like, to try to figure out what I was doing. Because he didn't know where I lived at. So once you did, then it was like, well, I'm like, well, you going to come and get your daughter? Yeah, I come and get her. It might be on a Friday. He might come 10 o'clock at night. Because they don't want me to go out. Want me to have no fun. And then they bring her back the next day early.
So he's trying to control it.
Right. That's how they would do it. If I made a big deal about going anywhere, it'd be like, well, I'll come and get her Saturday or Sunday or something like that. And then it's like, well, shoot, you might as well just leave her here, But he was. That's what I had to deal with.
Yeah.
And then it was like you didn't come around anymore, but you was the best dad ever until we separated. So I'm just like, why do they do that? So I had to go through a lot of that. I had to deal with that for, even to this day, he still don't come around. He don't hardly see the grandbabies and stuff like that, but you want to be the best father ever. But
so that's what we call like an Instagram dad, like you or kind of
my
thing.
kids is big now.
Well, I'm just saying in general, right? You want to look good in front of the friends and family. And then,
because when he come around, it's like, I'll do anything for my kids. I'll do this. And
that's
I'm like,
what I mean.
Well, where was you at the last 5-6 years? Like, when I just wanted you to help co-parent. I didn't want to be with you. I didn't.
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry, Michelle. Go ahead.
I didn't stop him from, if he wanted to see the kids, I was like, here, take them. Do whatever you want. I didn't care who you was seeing. Be with, have your kid. That was my main thing. But it was like you dictated my whole life because you was mad or whatever, to where you didn't even see your kids. So I just don't understand why people do that. Females too,
that's wrong.
and they is hell.
Yeah,
Females is like, don't be with Sally. And then, you playing house with Sally. Oh, you'll never see your kids.
Yeah.
They'll be like, why you over here with some, you gonna be, you unfit dad. You got anybody around my kids? Hell, you do. You dating. You doing the same thing. What makes what you do is so different from what I do when we co-parenting? Supposed to.
So, what do you think is the cause of that, behind that? Is it just to hurt someone? Is it because they grew up and they saw their parents do the same thing to them, kind of thing? It can be multiple things.
I don't know. In your situation, because it's crazy. Because I never even.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
I didn't think about it from the other side. I always thought it from the female being the one that's always using kids as a tool.
No,
but you are so right.
I had to
That's
go
wrong.
that.
It's wrong.
I could never date.
And that's the
could,
crazy
but
thing.
I never. And he knew I was the type of person I didn't bring my kids around anybody until I knew if this was gonna be long term. So so this went on for like a long time. He knew I was like that. So it was like, well, if I don't come and get the kids, she can't go out and date. She can't go meet nobody and stuff like that. So I will wait. And if she want to go with him and stuff like that, then I go out. Then it's like blowing my phone up. I'm going to bring her home early. I'm going to do this and stuff like that. You know, where you at and stuff. So I just, you know I dealt with it. So I'm looking at it. I know females, but I'm just trying to get like, you know.
May I ask? Did you ever go through the child support and the court order saying, okay, he gets 2 weekends, yada yada?
We had a good.
That's what I mean. Maybe
divorce.
If you had something on paper.
I didn't feel like it because that's your child.
But if he's doing that to you though,
he didn't do that during the divorce. We were like, he was
even afterwards.
Yeah, but then that's when it turns into, if you try to regulate somebody like that who's going to run anyway, that type of person be like, well, fuck it then. I ain't going to do shit then.
Right. And that's how it was. Cause
then it'll be her fault.
I didn't take child support out on him until like I think my daughter was 16, but it was only for like a year. But she was going through some things, and I just like, I really need your help. And he was just like, no, and you know, so I had to do that. But other than that, I did it myself because I'd rather just deal with it, not deal with the headache at all. But I felt like, why? You know, why men do that? You know, why is...
I don't think all men do that.
No, I don't think all of them.
That moment that person did that.
I don't know. I mean,
you're really forward about that one. You just never...
No, because I'm trying to think back to when my son was really young, when it was when me and her was going through that, and I gotta say it kind of is a kick in the teeth because I never thought about it that way, but some of those attributes I did. I did. I didn't. Now listen what I'm saying, because I didn't do the. It wasn't so much the, well, you can't go out or, you know, trying to regulate what you do, but there was early on when we first separated, it was still a lot of emotional attachment there. It was, for me, it still was.
Okay.
And here's a little thing about guys. All of us, we're all built this way. Every last one. And if there's one that says he's not, he's a liar. He's a liar. Where's my lie button? Liar! That's what he is. He's a liar. So, all the guys are like this. Every guy alive, if he's had coitus with a woman, if he's had sexual congress with a woman, we all believe that we still have the ability to get that woman back. Maybe, and a lot of it could be like just completely foolhardy and full blown. And it's not even thinking so much like get her back in a relationship. Right. It's just with men, it's not even a control. It's literally just it's a property thing. It's a property thing.
I mean, let me put it on the shelf.
Yeah, right. Once me and a female has slept together, you're part of my trophy case. Like, you could have had however many people before me, however many people after, but you're still part of my trophy case. Like, you belong over here. And if I really, really, really wanted you, I done had you once.
Is that how you feel, Michelle? You know I was going to come back to you on that one.
A lot of guys think like that, right?
I feel like men, that's why men can control most relationships, because if the man wants to come back, it's really going to be totally on y'all.
Because we know the triggers. Right. Like what to say, how to come.
Right. So that's what we believe. And when I think about that, when me and my ex separated and divorced,
the second one, right?
Yeah, the second one, because that's where my son came out. I really, like, I didn't want her. Like, and she was the type that was like, she liked to think about taking a break, go do something for a while, and then come back together later. I was like, yo, if we don't work out, we don't work out. So after we separated and I moved out, and she saw the grass wasn't greener where she was, she started sniffing around. But now I got turned on to the A. Like, the coochie was falling out the trees. They was all over the place. And I was like, I'll take it. Shit. So she became part of the one on the team. She was in the mix. So, but my mentality, even though I was going through that, and then I was meeting new people here, and I was doing my thing, and I was having my fun, when I got back with her, it was just like, it was almost like, you know, when you leave home and you're grown, and then you come back home and it's like it's mama's cooking, it's familiar. It's like I'm not really cheating on anybody or anything because you're part of the team. That's whatever. But that was my mentality when I was doing it. Now, and I only say that to bring up all that made sense until she started opening up about people that she was seeing and doing shit. Then I was just like,
now you feeling some type of way.
Right. And I didn't, and that was the thing. I never came out and be like, what the fuck you mean you sleeping with people? Right. I was always cool about, oh, word? All right, yeah, cool. But there was something back there. It was just like, how you doing this? Knowing that somebody had just left the crib 20 minutes before she got there. And I'm like, how? What you mean last week you was on somebody's pool table? What the you whore. Like, and I had that trigger in me like, you know what? And I started thinking just like you said it. If she has my kid, she can't do this whore stuff all the time. But I would never come out and say it.
They never say
right,
it.
never come out and say
actions.
It was actions.
All the time.
And it'd be like, okay, I gotta pick him up at a certain time. And it'd be 5:30, I'm supposed to pick him up. And I'd still be on the couch playing video games and it's 5:27. I'm like, I play 5-minute quarters in Madden. That's about
40 minutes.
That's about 42 minutes. As if nobody calls no timeouts or anything. It's about 42 minutes. Yeah, I'll get there. I'll make up something. But
you don't see what you're doing because you're not even, it's not hurting her. It's the child that's being neglected. It's the child that's dealing with that because y'all have these insecurities that you ain't even want to be with anymore.
But here's the crazy thing about it. The child will never know that anything is happening until the mother who's upset and offended by my actions starts telling the kid about how fucked up I am for not being somewhere. Because when I get there, Daddy, the greatest person in the world, I missed you. I can't do no wrong. But mommy the whole time, where's your father? He was supposed to be here at this time. See, he don't never come on time. He know I need to be somewhere. He know I need to do something. And then the kid's like, I hear you, but none of that shit matters. Because as soon as he walked through that door, Daddy!
Now, I never did my daughter. I never did that. I never, my kids, one time my son, the dad left him in the living room. Like, my son was just waiting, it's dark. And I'm steady like, damn, he ain't came yet. I just told my baby, just come on, go to bed. We'll try again tomorrow. Maybe he'll come tomorrow. But I've never been like, yo, daddy ain't shit. I've never did. I'm not that type of person. I will vent to my family or my sister, be like, you know what, he did it again. But we're not bad.
Kids in the earshot,
because they love the boy, my ex-husband. They love him to death because he is a good person.
That's the one with the gold teeth. Fronts?
Yeah. But he became nothing when he did that, But it was like, you're hurting.
Now, when you would do that though with your sisters, did you make sure the kids weren't in earshot?
Yeah, it was nowhere.
Because
Be
kids.
sleep. No, they be sleep because they was. But no, it wasn't like.
Okay,
no,
come on.
Because you can ask them. You can even ask my children. They've never heard me say anything bad, and I never allowed anybody else to do it either. I knew how they was. They'll tell you, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. They found out later how their dad was, but they loved their dad, and I wouldn't do that to them. So they never heard it. It wasn't like, they didn't even know it was late. I knew what time the dad was coming.
Right.
They would be just sitting around waiting, like, where dad? I saw, he'd be here in a minute. You know, we'll see and stuff like that. And I'm calling like, you know, you coming? You know, you got her waiting. And he's like, yeah, I'll be there and stuff. And then it's like, you know, 7 hours later, then you coming through the door. They don't know. And I'm not going to be like, oh, what the fuck you did? Here. Get the baby. And I'm going to do what I got to do. Because I had stuff to do. Or sometimes I just have to wait.
Now, let me ask you. When you did that, though, when you were... instead of bad mouthing and you were just like, you know, you kept that part. So you gate kept the fact that he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do from the kids.
I never let that.
What was the motivation for not saying anything, or because you're obviously upset by it. It's bothering you, it's inconveniencing you, it's messing up your schedule. What stopped you from voicing what was going on, like showing your cards, so to speak? Because if you shield that behavior, you allow him to keep getting away with the behavior.
So then,
right. But what stopped you from?
Because it had nothing to do with the kids. I wasn't. It just was a thing that I'm like, you know what? I just dealt with it, really.
Okay.
A lot of times I just dealt with it, and I wasn't finna go back and forth with it, because I could say they were still good. My kids was still go with my sisters or something like that. It was just that I wanted their dad to do better, and not control me in the process. But no, I just couldn't do that. I grew up like that. You know, you see things. My family was very verbal, mentally. You know, there's not a lot of good things being said. So, you know, I just wanted something different.
Gotcha.
I didn't want to be that parent. Yeah, I didn't want to be that parent of, you know, having my kid. Then my kids talk about, fuck him, you know, about the daddy ain't shit and stuff like that. No, you're not going to talk about your daddy. You know, they see it now, and I still don't let them talk about their dad. They know he, you know, whatever. But they'll say something, but it's not disrespectful. You know, so, yeah. But I just didn't want to be that person to be like that, because it will affect the kids later. And I didn't want to do that, because hell, I had them all the time.
Yeah.
So I had to just figure it out. But yeah, I just didn't understand why men be like that. You know, and women. Women is just dealing with the baby mama. Don't want, you know, now I done told you to leave my son alone. Now he home. You see him with another female. All that stuff. I told you went out the door. You mad, like, he gonna bring him back. What he gonna do with him? He gonna do with your son? What y'all kid? What
it's y'all,
right?
Like, it's y'all. You belong to both of y'all.
But it doesn't when you're not together.
Message.
Right.
That's when they become property, and it's my kid, this is me, and this you ain't go. You give me my child.
So
don't ask for child support. But don't come for me for money if that's only your child only and stuff like that. Don't ask me for nothing if you want to be the sole provider and do this and dictate how I should help you raise a kid that you keep saying is yours. Come on now. We got to do better. Wow. We got to do better.
We can go so deep in this.
Yeah.
And then that's when their friends start popping up, like Heavy Duty was saying, oh, girl, I wouldn't deal with that. You should just put them on. Don't even deal with them. Just let the government deal with them. Go get some money and then take care of your baby and stuff.
I ain't have friends like that.
But here's my question. In a scenario like that, as the bear has mentioned, before the breakup or before the whole split, right? If you saw your partner as a great partner and a great father, it just didn't work out for whatever reason, right? But he or she is a great person. Why, when you split up, treat them differently in many cases? Or look at them down like he ain't shit or she ain't shit?
What was the reason for the breakup?
It shouldn't matter. But
it shouldn't.
But
with emotional people, it does.
It's emotional or people in your ear at the end of the day.
See, that's why you can tell people stuff, but you have to decipher what you're gonna take and what you're gonna, because nobody's gonna always give you good advice.
Correct.
You just have to know what you're gonna take from their advice. But you can't let somebody come in there and tell you, oh, he ain't shit, you leave him and stuff. Girl, that's my baby daddy. I understand I might have told you some things, but what you're not gonna do is that. Yeah. I have to still make the decision because I still have to raise these kids with him. But like my little boy dad, he used to be like, he would get them every now and then, but if I was doing something, like going on a little trip or taking the kids and he called, I'd be like this, detour. I take them right over there and drop them off and let them play. I wouldn't be like, we got plans, because I see them all the time. I have them all the time. So why would I be that selfish and be like? And women,
they under you the whole time.
All the time when I got plans. You can't, but you cried about him not coming to get him. Now he want to come and get him. Now all of a sudden, oh no, he come get him. Well, I want you to come and get him, and this that.
That's not right.
It's just it makes us look bad, women. We got to do better. It makes no sense. We didn't have these kids by ourselves.
And man, we ain't out the boat either. We gotta do better.
No,
we can't turn into emotional messes and be like, I want to be out in the street, but the second she want to be out in the street, nah, I gotta use this kid to make her stay home.
Yeah, I ain't gonna come and get Johnny today. I be gone. What?
That's bad for business. We can't be doing that.
But it's becoming like the normal thing. You see it on TV all the time. You know, that's my kid. You know, you a deadbeat dad. He wasn't a deadbeat when you was with him. Why was he dead now? Like, how did that turn? Because y'all not doing good. Now all of a sudden he a summer father too, but he was so good not too long ago. That kills me. That kills me.
Or are they just down on their luck, financially or emotionally or spiritually, whatever? Now they're the worst person in the world.
But as long as you're still there for your child, you go through a rough time or whatever. That's when you come to that co-parenting and you try to figure out what's good. Because hey, if you're not working and you have a hard time, okay, well, you know what? I'll watch the kids while you go do whatever you need to do, vice versa.
Yeah,
so if it helps you to go work, and then you can spend time with your child. But I'm not gonna say you ain't got no money, you can't come over here and take care. Come on now.
That's easier said than done.
It is, because I see it all. They won't stop doing it. They won't stop doing it. And then you got kids out here, younger kids, messed up in the head now because you got mommy and daddy over there fighting. Don't know why they fight. They don't even like each other. Then they got a whole nother relationship. That man don't like that. It's a domino effect, and somebody got to stop it. So these kids gonna be ruined. They already going.
They're already ruined. They've been ruined since us.
Right.
But wow. So what do you do?
You got them stunned.
I'm telling you. This is something that people don't think about.
Yeah, because
now
I
you're looking
can
at
see
two different views.
I can see what you're going through. I can see how when I was younger, from your point of view, how my ex would have been thinking, because when I was doing that, I wasn't thinking so much of.
It was war.
Like, it wasn't.
He's being nice.
No,
it was war. It was an emotional war.
You wasn't thinking about the kid.
It wasn't an emotional war.
I'm like,
it wasn't an emotional war. It wasn't. It was.
You're like, F this person.
Yeah.
Every third word.
Literally.
If I said the M word.
Literally and figuratively. Like, like I said, she became part of the stable. Like, she wanted her break, and then she came back around, and then she was part of the rotation. But usually, like, I was still smashing, and then when chicks would come up, and there was a time that I was in my menage days, and a chick would tell me that she was game for it. And then I'll go, damn, I need to find somebody that would be on the other side of that coin, that'd be down for it, that I don't have to like coax or convince into it, or her worse, but convince into the situation. I know I could call eggs. Why? Because I know she wants me back.
So she'd be willing to do whatever.
Yeah.
So he used
That's even worse.
Yeah.
Because that's like
you can't have somebody who's smart and who's using rationale in their logic.
Yeah.
While you're trying to be emotional. You can't do it.
And a Gemini.
I will run circles around you, and I will tear your brain up.
That's why I be.
I know my mom.
That would be me.
You like.
That's why I'm saying I could never be in a relationship with another Gemini, because me and that person, it will be World War III. Because both of us be like.
Imagine Bear as a female.
Really?
Contemplating.
It's easy to imagine. There's one right behind me that's coming up right now. just look at her. Because my daughter, she put me in a dress, and she's that.
Man.
She even argues like me. It's fantastic.
The cell is, for lack of a better word, perfect.
It's like, it doesn't make sense.
She literally argues just like me. She be like, look, I said this to him, and then he said this. So I asked him, why would you even say that if we were doing this? How does that even make sense to you? Tell me.
I know, he was like...
And I was just like...
and he shed a tear. He's like...
And then the wife was like...
That's when he'll cry. Oh, look at the proud work I've done.
All she gotta do, the last thing she gotta do is put a New York Giants hat on. And that's it. It's over for him. He'll retire for life.
Nah, she was born here.
I know.
She's allowed to have a team.
No,
just like my son, he was born here. Falcons is his team. They're like, I don't force. I don't force my team on them. So there it is.
It's not forcing. It's just showing them the light.
Right.
Showing the light.
What light have we had in the last 10 years? I want to have a light.
More championships than this team.
Yeah, well, yeah. You're right. And the teams that got more championships than us, they make me puke, so I can't even talk about them.
Shout out to the...
About them boys.
These
Or we
boys,
talking about
they haven't grown to
Are we talking about the
yet.
Bears with AK-47s riding sharks with capes on? The Super Bears? Not them? Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, I didn't know who we were shouting out there. My bad. So, and she gonna show us though. Oh, Jesus.
But
yeah.
y'all crazy. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Even at the end of the day, no one wins because the child's going to be hurt one way or another.
Yeah.
You know, and the most important person is the child or children, depending. You know, especially you're not sure about the DNA and all that good stuff.
But now, how do you fix it? Because I mean, we have the issue. We know what the problem is. We know both sides go through it. What would be a solution, and not necessarily a compromise? Because in a compromise, nobody wins.
That's almost an unfair question there.
Why?
Because there's always one that's more emotional than the other, and emotions are the worst thing you can do, or have, I should say, to make decisions, right or wrong.
I believe so because I'm logically driven.
Right.
But somebody who's emotionally driven, they'll argue the other side of the coin and say logic doesn't allow for your feeling. If you feel something is the best way to go, mama's intuition and all that stuff, sometimes you just have to feel the right way and it works out. To somebody who's logical, that makes no sense. Right. But to them, that makes all the sense in the world. So you can't say one is better than the other. They're just different. That's a good point. They're just different.
I'll take it back.
So that's a tough one to go.
I didn't look at it that way.
Yeah,
that's a tough one to go.
This will be the hardest topic to really try to see who's gonna come up, because somebody got to be the bigger person. Who will that be?
Sure.
Even if you say, well, okay, we got kids, come on now, but it's always gonna be that one. We do. Them are mine, so.
Yeah. I think you're right on that. The bigger person is going to have to basically take a lot of abuse. Because the other one's going to be like, this is my kid, it's going to be my way. You're right.
Until they get old enough to understand the difference between the two.
That's hard, though, man.
The problem is, some people just ain't built for that.
That's so hard.
And I'm one of them.
Well, I dealt with it until my kids 17, 18. I just had to do what I had to do because I didn't want the arguments. I didn't want to, my house is a peaceful home. I don't want all that drama. So I just if you come around and get them, come around and get them. If you want to spend time with them, I want to blow up your phone. I'm not going to make you be a dad. I'm not going to do that.
That's fair.
Which you can't.
No, you can't. So I wasn't even finna stress and be like, people be sitting at home, he worried about what they going on. That's
the big thing. And that's where I was tied in. The second you start that worrying about what somebody else is doing in their house away from you, that's when that control thing starts kicking in. Well, you know what? Whatever he's doing, I don't like it. So now I'm gonna make sure the kid is the tool that he doesn't do what I don't want him to do, or she doesn't do what I don't want him to do.
It's jealousy. How come he or she can hang out and party all night long while I'm stuck with the little ones at home?
Because you don't want to give them up.
That's true.
Or
the other one don't want to come around and pick them up. So
right,
he's bad dad, but he wanted to come and get him. But then when he tried to come and get him, you didn't want him. But then you looking for a babysitter because you trying to hang out, but you're not gonna call a dad to come and get their kid. You'll find somebody else down the street.
Correct. Yeah.
Why?
Selling drugs and all that good stuff.
It's the oh God.
The mentality. Again, at the end of the day, the children or children's unfortunately get hurt.
They do.
Psychologically.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right about that. I went through that exact same thing. Like, my ex wanted to be out in the streets, and at the time, my finances weren't nowhere near where they are today, thank God, because obviously I wasn't with the person that I'm with. But has a whole lot to do with things. But she would do exactly what you just said. Rather than, ask me, hey, do you want your son, because I'm going out of town for this weekend or whatever? Because the situation with her was a little bit different, but everybody's is different, so I can't even really say that. But she was a person who lived her life through her friends and everybody else.
Oh, okay.
So whatever her friends was going through, we had to go through. Whatever, hey, me too. She was a me too type of person.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Influence.
Influence.
Yeah. And anytime somebody's influenced like that is because, well, first of all, they wouldn't know that your mate or ex-mate is a piece of shit unless you told them to even begin with.
That's true.
So they ain't doing nothing but regurgitating what you said.
Correct.
So that's on you.
Without ever hearing your side of the story.
Right.
But see, that's why.
Well, your side doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter anymore.
But see, then you also gotta have good, decent friends. If your friends is always a negative type of person,
but they are
like
decent to that person, though.
In their point of view.
See,
that's my
they're not overall. They're not.
That's my homegirl. That's my sister.
Right, my friend, they'll ride for me, but right is right, wrong is wrong.
Right.
And they'll be on me like, Michelle, don't do that. That's if I'm saying something, they be like, oh, okay, well y'all can work it out. They're never coming with nothing negative. Oh, he ain't this and that. They don't do that. So that's why you have to pick certain people in your life too as well that will help you dictate and make the right decision. Because if you do have all these negative people in your ear, you're gonna keep making these little dumb mistakes, and then everything is territorial and everybody is selfish and all that and insecurity. But you gotta just change your whole aspect on life on how you want to do things. Yeah, the world do what they want, but you have to control that. You know, your environment. That makes a big difference. So.
But Michelle, the problem is you are the madam. You are an alpha. You are a leader.
Yes.
So of course it's easy for you to say that your friends are not going to do that. Because you dictate your relationships being the leader.
You be whipping them.
No.
But the problem is, what happens when either as a female or as a male, you get with somebody who is not an alpha, who is not a leader, who's a worker bee, who's just that they require that family or friends or people to be around. They need that attention or they need that support. Right. They need people.
No matter what type of person it is.
Right. They need somebody to make them feel like they're doing stuff the right way. And even if it's coming from a bad place, like you were saying, that girlfriend who talks to her girl and says, you know what? Your husband ain't shit. You could do so much better, girl. He ain't shit. But that's because she told you about the argument we had last week, which you shouldn't even had opened the mouth about because that was something me and you went through.
And it's only her point of view of that argument.
Even if, right. But you get real hung up on whose point of view.
It is. It's very important, man.
It's
because
not.
there's three sides.
It's not.
Yes.
It's not. It's not.
Sure it is.
No, it's not. Because if you're emotional, you're hurt about something, you're not going to tell somebody else's side of it exactly on what they did and how they did it. You're not. It's not a human condition. I've known you all these years, dude.
Yes.
And you're fair when you tell how relationships have gone.
Yes. I've taken ownership.
Brother, you don't tell everything that you did wrong in this relationship.
I don't know.
You don't. I'm not going to put you on the spot like that. But I'm just saying, as a human, it's not in us to be like, yeah, I'm completely fucked up and I did A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and they did A, B, C, D. And then stop there.
I guess it boils down to people's conscience.
Yeah.
Because some things, if you just, I don't know. I battle with it. Because like I said, I have a select amount of friends. All my friends, even your wife, you know, she's not, we don't have to hang around each other. We still have a good relationship and we can talk. And it's nothing negative. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, even when people say you gotta have a group of friends, somebody want to have that friendship that needs that type of environment. But then you as a person have to decipher. Okay, well, I'm gonna set my boundaries as well. Then because just because you like all these people, I need to make sure it's gonna fit what we're trying to do.
Right.
Because if that doesn't work, then just because we got all these people, some finna be messy.
Yeah.
Some gonna be. So you gotta. It's just a lot.
That's grown woman thinking. You see,
that's why.
That's very grown woman.
Yeah, and you just hit the nail on the head with the, you know, when you mentioned the wife, because like you said, y'all don't have to talk every day, but y'all know where y'all stand. My ex, if her friends didn't talk to her in a certain amount of time, something must be going on. Like, because they weren't there to give her that affluence. And they weren't there to just, she craved it. It was like she had to have that from those people. It's a totally different animal. And me looking at it like, why do you gotta tell your friends everything?
Two different animals.
Everything.
And then you get mad when they throw it back in your face.
Yeah, but that's grown. That's grown when you do that. But see, she was the type, when they throw it back in her face, yeah, you right, girl. He ain't that. So when they throw it back in her face about, like, if me and her had an argument, she'd go back and tell the argument, like Heavy Duty said, her side, her perspective. So the friend to get that. Now, a month, whatever amount of time will pass, and then we have another argument. She'd go back to that same friend, tell that friend, and then that friend would be like, girl, I don't even know why you with him. You the dumb one, because I told you he ain't shit. Her response, you know what, you right. He ain't shit. I should have listened to you back before.
But then it's going to go right back over there to him. Because she ain't listening.
Exactly.
Like,
but when she comes back to me, she's charged. With everything the friend said, and now she walking the door looking at me stink face. Yeah.
Shit, I need to get
me and the friend both, we had a meeting and we had a vote and we decided, duly, you ain't shit.
And then your friend ain't shit, because she probably ain't got no man, and she probably struggling and got something going, 4, 5 baby daddies, and you listen to that. Yeah.
Yep.
Whatever you get, you get what you get. If you want to live stuff like that, that's why I said you have to have a little sense. We're not children. We're older. You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
And then later on, once we had the kid, that'd be the same person. Somehow, I pay child support. I had my son 50% of the time. So I picked him up Mondays and Wednesdays and every other Friday. And another Friday, I had him that whole weekend. Then the next week, I have him Tuesday and Thursday, and then I'd have that next weekend off. And then she'd have the adverse schedule. So I had him literally 50% of the time for 2.5 years we did that. Okay. Right? And it would have kept going that way if she didn't change things up. But anyway, that's another story. But here's the kicker where he comes into the situation. when she got charged with all her friends and I ain't shit. Again, I'm paying child support and I have them 50% of the time. And
you doing what you're supposed to do.
Right. She's taking the money, taking them on vacations and stuff like that because she got her job. Plus, I'm paying damn near $900 a month for one kid at the time. Right? That was because of some big contracts I had, whatever. But so she's doing that. Now, at this time, I'm not pulling in those big contracts like I used to because I'm not in, society changes, things of that nature. So I don't have the money that I used to. But now I'm still on the hook for almost $900 a month of child support. And I can't afford that, but I still pay it. I pay everything I can. And then all of a sudden, when my job says, Bear, we need you to go work on a plane in another city or something like that. And I communicate with her, look, I know I'm supposed to have him this Monday and Wednesday, but work is telling me I need to be in Oklahoma City, or I need to be in Denver, or I need to be in Kansas, or I need to be in Savannah. And I'm going to be there for 4 days in a row. So I'm not going to be able to pick him up Monday and Wednesday. So I'm going to need you to pick him up for those days. Right? All of a sudden, see, you're a deadbeat.
Right, like, but you was doing good for a whole 2 years.
That just angers me.
What you mean? How am I a deadbeat if I pay child support and I get them all the time? I literally have to go to work to pay the child support so I don't go to jail over not paying for a kid that I have half the time. So how you figure deadbeat? Okay, you call me what you want because it ain't about what you call me is what I answer to. So I ain't worried about what you call me. You and your friends do your thing because me and you ain't together no more. But it's the simple fact of when she needed somebody to watch the kid because she'd go on vacation or something like that, I didn't have much going on. If I wasn't at work, I was at the crib. Like, I wasn't out in the streets because one, I couldn't afford it, and two, that's just not my thing. So I didn't have a problem spending time with my kid. I'd call him on the weekend that she'd have him, ask him what's he up to. Nothing, just sitting at home playing my game. Oh, okay. So you and mom ain't doing nothing this weekend? Oh, mom's gone. What do you mean mom's gone? And remember, he's like 9, 10, 11 right now. Oh, mom went out of town with her friend. Out of town. So you just sitting in the house the whole weekend by yourself? Well, it's okay because mom has cameras in the living room and the kitchen, and I just got to go into the camera and wave at it and let her know I'm okay. Rather than her just saying, well, I'm the deadbeat. You leaving your kid who's 9, 10, 11 years old at the crib by himself the whole weekend.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to.
Because that's how they do.
Right. And then when I finally brought up that she was doing that, on her weekends, she would get a girlfriend or some random, or she used to pay the babysitter things to come watch our kid at 11 years old in the house while she went on vacation.
Instead of just
and I'm sitting at the house 6.5 miles away. But I'm the deadbeat though. Yep. Like the only person that I even said anything to was, hey, I gotta go out of town for work. I won't be able to pick him up. Can you get him?
And
oh my God.
It would have been like, yeah, you communicated with me, you gave me heads up, and you never done this, you haven't done this before. Like it's not like you just.
I only did it for work.
Right.
When it came to that. I only when I wasn't gonna get him. Now, the other game, like I talked about, was when we had first divorced, and there was still some emotion there, and there was still a little bit of sting there. What I'm talking about later, like we're talking about the difference of him being 3 versus him being 11, 12 years old. We're talking almost 10 years later.
Years past,
yeah. She ain't even like you don't even on the radar, dude.
She's in the box, not even the trophy.
And I think that's what really bothered her. And it was something that my previous ex, long-term girlfriend, had said about her ex that I was like, I didn't even think about that. She said, you know what? It's a real thing when you with somebody and they ain't shit and they ain't about shit, and all of a sudden, and then once you leave, all of a sudden now they want to be doing better. They want to start doing stuff. And I was like, huh. Maybe that plays into it. So that whole jealousy thing that you brought up.
What I mean.
Because it's like, okay, so when I was with you and I was younger and trying to find my way.
You were average.
It was just like we struggling, but we struggling together.
That's how we think as
Right.
men.
Yeah.
And, but that's what she saw. And then once we got separated, I was in the dirt for a minute, but then, I'm not going to stay down there forever. I'm going to figure out a way to get the hell up out of there. And once I did get the hell up out of there, things started to change and got back into engineering and stuff like that. All of a sudden, now I'm a deadbeat and, I'm this and I'm that. Meanwhile, the kid talk to you any old kind of way, and he's yes sir, no sir with me. So I don't know. You call it what you want, but it's man.
I know. It's sad. It's sad all the way around.
I don't like it.
Nobody do.
I don't like it if either one does it. You know?
It's bad.
It's just wrong either way.
The kids lose in the end.
Yes.
Yes. So there's no fix. It's just. Does it go back to astrology? Is it just if two signs or two people get together who are just not meant to be, you're doomed to have a relationship like this with the kids forever? Is it that?
Well, astrology doesn't make sense anymore because it's already, you ended that relationship. You want to use it before the relationship start.
Well, I mean, the person is still
ideally.
that sign, and you're still your sign. So you're still, and now because the kid's there, you're attached to that person.
Sure.
Essentially for life. I mean, most like to say till 18, but like the Madam Michelle K has shown us, once the kid is 18 and that kid starts having kids, now there's grandbabies. And if the other person still wants to be around their grandbabies, they still in your life. So it's essentially forever that you're dealing with this person once you have a kid with the person.
Unless they choose not to be in the child.
Unless they choose not to be there at all.
At all. They just like, you know what? You deal with it. I'll be here whenever.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get ready to get up out of here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All nations, all places,
Algeria.
all regions.
One more time, that's allowed.
India.
They love you where?
India.
Dominican Republic. Let's see how far we go.
United States.
Spain.
Thailand. You say Europe? That's not a country, it's a continent. Shout out to Atlanta Education. Atlanta Education. You say Europe. Woo! Colombia! No, she got a headache, man. She gotta go home. Shout out to the moon.
I am not with y'all.
Okay, yeah. I'm glad your headache feels better. I gotta feel a little bit.
You gotta drink water. You gotta stay hydrated.
Yeah, it still hurts.
It can't hurt as much. You done took the glasses off.
Because I looked hot. It was too dark in the TV.
Oh.
She looked like a drug lord and with the glasses. She like, people watching.
I think she didn't want us to get on the fact that she looked like she had been abused.
Today I come in with a black.
I love him. Shut up.
It was a 4th of July party. It was a friend.
It was my fault. It was my fault. Before y'all say anything,
I
it
should
was
have
my
not come
fault.
home so late. I should have called first.
He told me if I did that, what was going to happen. So it's my fault.
I should have learned.
I shouldn't be asking about the other chicks he got. That was dumb of me. That was my fault. But as we can report, both of Michelle K's eyes are the right color.
Yes.
And not swollen.
Size.
That's fantastic. Uh-huh.
Let me see your knuckles. All right. You didn't hurt nobody.
I'm not gonna fight nobody.
I'm just making sure. Making sure you're not block. Punch. Block.
I'd rather shoot you first or something.
Wow.
I'm not
Georgia!
Oh, wait. And on that note,
I am the heavy duty. Heavy duty.
I've been confused.
It's gun-friendly state. Gun-friendly state.
What happened? Okay, so
right.
we're officially gonna get out of here.
oh God,
I've been King Bear in the building.
Michelle K.
The heavy duty cutie.
Heavy duty cutie.
We gotta give you one.
We gotta get one. Ready? I am the
Heavy duty cutie.
You already know. Worldwide.
Oh my God.
And we're gonna catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be good, man.
Peace.
Peace.